Good morning. So I don't know if you heard, but that's your little hint to turn off your cell phones. Well, good morning and welcome to the Sunday celebration of Spirit here at the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. Again, take this opportunity, turn off your cell phone, pagers, what all. Anything that sends out an electronic signal so it doesn't interfere with the sound system. Then take a deep breath and look in the eyes of your neighbor and say hi. We here at the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living honor you wherever you are on your spiritual path. The words to this morning's chant are up here, followed by treatment by Reverend Sarah Hargrave.
Let's all stand up and take a good breath. Stretch it, feel the breath, feel the bliss of your breath, okay? Come fully present into this moment. Blissful stillness, come to me. Blissful stillness, come. Hold me in your sweet silent embrace. Blissful stillness, come to me. Blissful stillness, come. Hold me in your sweet silent embrace. Blissful stillness, come to me. Blissful stillness, come. Hold me in your sweet silent embrace. One's real soft. Blissful stillness, come to me. Blissful stillness, come. Blissful silent embrace.
As we move into our morning prayer, a quote from Ernest Holmes from Love and Law. At all times, I am aware of my immediate oneness with God. So I speak this in the first person for myself and for each of you that chooses to have it for yourself. I am grateful for the awareness that Spirit is truly all there is, that I am one with it, unchangeable, always present, the sweet, silent embrace. And I open my heart to the love of Spirit, fully immersed in it. And I open my mind to the wisdom of Spirit, knowing that I know exactly what to do at the time I need to do it. And the resources and assistance come to me at the very time of need. And I open my body to the infinite intelligence within, so that all is harmonized and healed and perfectly functioning for joy and ease and abundance. So accepting this is the truth, we simply wait for wonderful reports and delightful surprises, and so it is. Amen. And we have our wonderful musicians, Bodhi, of course, our music director, and Christine Tullis is our special guest. Thank you.
The title of this piece is Radiant Spirit of Love, and it is, of course, about the presence of God that lives within us, deep within the center of who we are. And we have the opportunity to share this beautiful love with each other and with all of life. Radiant Spirit of love, you are the core of my being. You whisper secrets of God in the hidden chambers of my heart. Illuminate my vision. Teach me the path of love. Help me embody your beautiful ways, that I might share your grace. Radiant Spirit of love, Creator, Healer, Guide, open the channels of wisdom in the hidden chambers of my heart. Illuminate my vision. Teach me the path of love. Help me embody your beautiful ways, that I might spread your grace. Radiant Spirit of love, Creator, Healer, Guide, Radiant Spirit of love, Source of goodness and light, your beauty shines like a diamond chambers of my heart. Illuminate my vision. Teach me the path of love. Help me embody your beautiful ways, that I might bring your grace. Help me embody your beautiful ways, that I might be your grace. Thank you. Thank you.
That was just. I have to get in this role now. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much. And while I'm still thinking of those words, the hidden chamber of the heart, look at the altar. This is Janet Ryan's altar for this morning. And I don't think these two spoke about the hidden chamber of the heart. And so that's just what God does as the stage manager. So, God can be the stage manager of your life. That certainly has been the case for me since I saw you 2 weeks ago. I want to thank Reverend Mary for a wonderful Sunday last Sunday. I may look the same to you, but I am way different. And that's because I have participated in 3 very powerful rituals. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them today, but the first one I conducted, which was for my precious daughter Melanie and her 3 housemates as they graduated in Oregon and then dispersed into their life. And so the ritual was changing beloved housemates into lifelong friends. And so, well, that was just amazing. And then, coming home, Reverend Mary did a ritual for me, the emptied nest ritual. And so that I'm like ready for new adventures now, sorta. I'm working up to it. And helping me do that was the personal ritual of reorganizing the garage, because when you have things home from college, then you have to put them in the cupboard. So anyway, that's where I am today. And so I am ready to continue with this wonderful series that we have going. We are looking at Ernest Holmes' essay, What We Believe, and we are in the 6th month on the 6th idea, which is, the bottom one? There we go. Okay, this is it. Thanks, Eleanor. We believe in the unity of all life and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. So this is for the 5 wonderful Sundays of June. We get to look at this statement and look into the wonderful idea of oneness. Isn't that just the sweetest image? We're at the halfway point in this essay, halfway point in the year. And so we would think that this is the halfway point in how we think about the body of knowledge that is our philosophy. So when you think about this essay, more than half the statements are about oneness. We have 1 more month to go, which is clearly mystical and clearly about oneness. And so the truth of this statement by John Muir is absolutely present. When we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe. So that's you, hitched to the furthest star, and the smallest particle. We are all one with all of that. There's actually one other idea in our philosophy. When I teach the totality of what we believe, I come up with basically two ideas, and that's it: oneness and mastery. That's why this is the title of the book of quotes that I put together. That's it. That's all you got to think about: oneness and mastery. And it's not until the 8th month in August that we start to talk about mastery. So that shows us how important, how essential the idea and the experience of oneness is in order to have any mastery at any level of life. So the more that we work on that experience of oneness, the better it is. And so this month we continue with the exploration of our connection with, our immersion in, our no difference from, our oneness with the all that is. And so the title today is Inviting the Omniscient into Intimacy. We have a slight change in my mind in this month, because instead of talking about I am one with God and letting it rest there, which is a wonderful place to let it rest there, but moving into this idea that the one I am one with, I love. And also, the one that I am one with loves me. Oh, just feel that for a minute. The one that I am one with, I love. And the one that I am one with loves me. And so we move into a place of saying, yes, everything is one, but there is also this divine other, this sweet other that I am one with and that I am relating to at the same time. And I think this image is so perfect because it does depict the oneness, and it does depict the divine beloved, the other. And so we move into a realm of talking about our relationship with God, relationship with that divine other, the personal relationship that we have, because in the quote it says we believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. And so it really is like the mystic marriage, that we're already one with this, and yet we are in love with that we see. And so all of this can be rounded out into the word intimacy, which is, this is you can kind of see that, can't you? It's a lovely room that's warm and inviting with the fire and the cozy wraps and everything. So it's intimacy, our intimacy with God. So when I was a child in Tucson, I grew up in Tucson, when there was no Science of Mind church there. And so, although I visited the Founders Church in Los Angeles in the summertime when I also went to Disneyland, that was just the itinerary, you know, Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, Founders Church. But at home, there was not a Science of Mind church, so I visited other churches with my little girlfriends. And I recognized that there was a very tender relationship that Jesus had. Most of these churches were Christian. A very tender relationship that Jesus had with children. And I also recognized that there was this in-love relationship that a lot of Christians had with Jesus. You know, they were passionate in their personal love for Jesus, and I wanted that. I didn't experience that, actually. I didn't fall in love the way Christians do with Jesus, but I yearned for that experience of oneness. And I found that I had it. I got it. I recognized it big time. Not in a religious setting. I was in a performance of a play, and all of a sudden, I slipped into this place where everything was the most divinely automatic that I can't even describe it. The lines, there was no effort in not only remembering the lines, but the feeling that the author had with the lines. And I was one with the author and one with everybody else on stage and one with the audience. And it kept up for quite a while, and everything was turning like light. And And I didn't blow it at all. I mean, I didn't go mystically crazy. I mean, I kept right with the script. And afterwards, people said, "What happened to you tonight? It was fabulous." And I said, "Yes, it really was fabulous." So how many of you had something like that not in church? Oh, look around. It's so natural. It's the most natural thing in the world. Not terribly frequent, at least for me all the time, but getting more so. So I want to share a little bit about the first time that I felt rolling around in the divine love, where really, 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 I was in love. I was in love with the infinite. And it was my first year at Woman's Spirit when I got the notion, just all in a piece, that everything was the divine feminine. And all of a sudden, beautiful, the beauty of the trees, the peacefulness of the forest, the whole idea of things coming into manifestation, all of that was feminine. Nature was feminine, music was feminine, the ocean was feminine, friendship was feminine, love itself was this divine goddess energy that I had never incorporated. And it was so delicious. And it lasted for a long time. I remember that I went on an airplane ride right after that, and I looked down at the ocean and I go, "There she is," it was just amazing. So that was my real first experience with divine intimacy. So how many of you can remember your first time with divine intimacy? Fewer, but yeah, that's something maybe you can think about. And because just like we remember loving moments with our human beloveds, and when we're in that sweetheart energy, we live them over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's really nice to do that with the divine infinite as well. So I want to talk to you about today pathways to the indwelling presence. Isn't this a great shot of Chartres? Pathways to the indwelling presence. And there are as many pathways to the indwelling presence as there are you out there and them out there. There's plenty ways for you to find a date with God. And actually, I would love to hear yours. I would love for you to share your intimate experience with God, and maybe even share it from up here, because we all are voyeurs for God. Love to listen to that divine oneness story. So these are the ones that I came up with. I have some, I think, entertaining examples of each one, and maybe they can stimulate in you what you can do to walk towards the infinite, so the infinite can walk towards you, and there you are, face to face with the divine beloved. So the first one is fall into the surprise. You can imagine that I was surprised at Woman's Spirit when I was rolling around in the divine, and it was like, really, oh my. It was like when people come into Science of Mind for the first time and they go, I didn't realize that there was a church that believed like me. Well, I had that same experience at Woman's Spirit. It was like, oh my God, how have I taken so long to find this? It was just amazing. So when you have that surprise experience, lean into it. Just love it. Take some time going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's so fabulous. Sometimes I've talked to students. I'm teaching the Roots class now, and in Roots, some people have come to me and said they've had a divine experience reading the materials of Troward and Emma, where they're on the page and they're in their conscious mind, but all of a sudden it all goes golden. And so when that happens, lean into it. Sometimes people have spiritual experiences and they don't really know they're spiritual, like the peak experience in a psychology class that I had once, where this guy said, I was riding this really great Bronco and he pitched me off. I was right under him and he didn't step on me. That was it. That was the peak experience. It was like that was his white light experience, and you can kind of imagine that it would be, when you walk away from that kind of thing. So when you have those experiences, luxuriate in them. Let them last a while. Hafez, who is just the most romantic poet with God, writes this. This is a short little poem called "We Keep Each Other Happy." Like two lovers who have become lost in a winter blizzard and find a cozy, empty hut in the forest, I now huddle everywhere with the friend. God and I have built an immense fire together. We keep each other happy and warm. So sweet, so intimate, so in love, such a sweetheart energy. And the next is deepen with divine qualities. So we are given all the time what we call divine or life-giving qualities. Some of them are beauty, peace, joy, abundance, balance, creativity. It's all there in any moment. All you have to do is turn to it and say, give me one. So let's try it. Think of something beautiful. Now, judging from your beatific faces, you are finding this easy. That you can think of something beautiful. And it was right there. It's right there all the time. All the time. Some of you are still there. Come back. So when we seek the divine, we can luxuriate in the divine qualities. This is a lovely book for a time like this. It's called Bridges to Heaven, and it's what famous people have to say about their spiritual path. So this is in the chapter called How I Encounter God, and this is Brother David Stendhal Rast. I experience God in all situations that evoke awe in me. This frequently occurs in nature, particularly in the mountains or the desert. It also occurs in the arts, particularly music, poetry, theater, and painting. These art forms frequently inspire me to great awe. In such moments, I feel a communion with the ultimate. I meet the divine in humans who are very transparent towards the divine. Being with pets can often be a very powerful activity as well. Animals are the highest form of aliveness that are still spontaneously transparent to the divine. Humans have to work at that. Meeting an animal can be quite similar to meeting a very saintly person. They are totally transparent. When I look at a cat, it's like looking into God's eyes. Well, we live with 4 cats. And so as I was kind of in the middle of preparing this talk, it was a couple of nights ago, I woke up at about 4 in the morning and I heard a meow outside. My bedroom is on the 2nd floor facing the backyard, and it wasn't a desperate meow, it was a let me in meow. And so the cats know how to get in and out by themselves, but sometimes, they want to feel their power and have you do it. So so I was awake, and so at 4 in the morning, I go downstairs and I open the sliding doors and I call to the Aphrodite, the one I think it is, Diety, come on in, meow, meow. And then I was taken with the beauty of the night. It was so dark, and it was so still, and it was so beautiful. And I just stood there for a while, and then I heard Diety behind me scratching on the carpet like, I'm here already. And I thought, for a moment I thought, oh, she's everywhere. Because I didn't feel her come in, and I thought I was still calling to her outside, but there she was behind me. It was a confusing moment. But it was such a lovely divine quality moment, and then I scooped her up and took her up to bed, and it was, it was really sweet, and it was intimate, and it was divine, it was godly, and it was more than just bringing the cat in. And when you're tuned to the intimacy that you're seeking with God, ordinary moments like that become filled with divine qualities. The next one is lose your mind. So our conscious mind is what we think with. And usually when we are in a thinking state, at least for me, it's a little bit more challenging to get to this intimacy love thing because that's in the heart state. So losing your mind can be a really good thing when you are seeking intimacy with the divine. So I'm going to tell you a story about my mother, who many of you know, my precious mom, who was a very, very put-together lady. I mean, she was the best-dressed person in this community. She looked fabulous all the time. She had beautiful, beautiful white hair that was put in that beauty specifically, nothing casual. And she was a practitioner teacher. Many, many, many of our practitioners were taught by her. So this was in the early 80s. I had moved to the Bay Area, and I took actualizations, which is one of those offshoots of EST. And I raved about it, and so I said, Mom, you really should take this. So bless her heart, she did. And it was like a 4-day training that they really work on you to kind of break down what, your underpinnings so that your essence can come forth in a free way. Well, my mother got off the bus, and I picked her up, and this put-together white hair was blown dry. And she had this look on her face like, what just happened? And she told me that they had a talent show one of the nights, and she played a hillbilly. Melanie has never heard this. So she played this hillbilly where she kind of talked like this, and she scratched. And she did this for me, and I was going, Mom, you scratched there in front of all those people. And I said, what were you thinking? And she said, well, I wasn't. I lost my mind. And the look on her face was like a child being so deliciously naughty and yet so one with God. It was just so, so precious. So I am inviting you to lose your mind any way you can in a safe place with loving people so that you can just be that crazy one on the inside. And I'm sure a lot of mystics say that is the perfect way to God, is the crazy one on the inside. Next is play with the unseen. So I'm going to tell you, all of you people who have been nervous about the woo-woo side of me, or any of us here, here is the Facebook offering for today, the Facebook offering. I will include this on my outgoing letter. You can see less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum and hear less than 1% of the acoustic spectrum. The atoms in your body are, I haven't even counted these nines, 99 point, this many nines on that line. There's like 15 nines. That much empty space. And none of them are the ones you were born with, but they all originated in the belly of a star. The existence of a rainbow depends on the conical photoreceptors in your eyes. To animals without cones, the rainbow does not exist. So you don't just look at a rainbow, you create it. This is pretty amazing, especially considering that all the beautiful colors you see represent less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. So let me just say that God is all over that 99% that we can't see or hear. And you would think that given all that's going on in this 1% that we can perceive, there's a heck of a lot more going on in the 99% that we can't perceive. And if there is some felt sense that we can tune into, that we have hitherto called woo-woo, that we can find anything going on in that 99% that is godly. Wouldn't you like to do that? Yes. Yes, I would. So, one of the woo-woo things that happened since I've seen you is that on the day that I did the ritual for the 4 young women at the University of Oregon as they were leaving their house, right before this, we set everybody busy girls. So the ritual is going to be at 4 o'clock, and you can't be in the space 15 minutes before. So be here, 3:45, and then I'm going to call you at 4 o'clock. Well, at 4 o'clock, they were outside in the front yard, and there was, between the unmowed grass and the bicycle, a baby possum crying. Meow, meow. Well, everything that size goes meow to me. But a baby possum at 4 in the afternoon. 4 in the afternoon, this baby possum was out there. So I'm going, there's possum medicine going on here, and we need to look at it. So I'm going to read to you about the opossum totem, and just think of this in relation to 4 21-year-old girls. This animal will protect your feminine side. Whether you are a man or woman, you have a feminine side. Feminine energy is receptive, nurturing energy. This totem also shows you the abundance provided, and that all you need do is learn to accept and receive the abundance at hand. When you feel bereft and low, look to this totem to show you the blessings and bounty you are missing. By doing so, you honor yourself. Passing on this energy by nurturing others, as indicated by your totem, contributes to the interconnected forces that intertwine us all. Possum is a totem of great power. Possum calls to those she has given her totem to use their mind as well as their body to the best advantage. Those who carry Possum's totem are aligned with wisdom. It is the wisdom of the warrior. The wisdom of choosing your ground and waiting to see what happens is the wisdom that Possum brings. Possum energy is the energy of thought, strategy, and preparation. Possum's receptive energy teaches patience and the wisdom that the mind is the mightiest weapon in the warrior's arsenal. Well, my gosh, for graduates, and that was just that little possum energy right there, and so we had, the baby possum and the baby adults, right there doing the ritual. So a similar kind of thing happened with the ritual for me of the empty nest. So I'm not going to go into depth with that. I might save it for another time, and I'm running out of time. But so Reverend Mary went out in my backyard and made as big a circle of rose petals as she could in my backyard, which was pretty big. And then there were stations of a woman's life, starting with child and baby, child, blood sister, all the way around to matriarch and sorceress. And so she had these stations, and one of my other cats, who is really the familiar of the household, was with her at every stage where she was putting things down. She walked with her, she wrapped around her legs, she purred, and then when people came over for the ritual, she's usually present but not quite so friendly, and whenever anybody was up there saying something as their part in the ritual, Mab was purring and around their legs, and at one point it was the separation part with Melanie leaving the circle, and Mab was, because there were things happening with 2 people, Mab didn't have one person to wrap around, so she just sat there and purred. And Mary said, Mab is very happy we're doing this. So with the possum and with the cat, there was some unseen energy that was God. That is part of that 99% that we can't see. Although I saw the possum, I saw the cat, the meaning was a part of that 99% that is not a part of our conscious mind. It is that felt state. And so the last one that we need to talk about, before I go there, I want to read 3 in a row here because they're so great. They're short. When I hear modern people complain of being lonely, then I know what has happened. They have lost the cosmos. That's D.H. Lawrence. William Blake. To see a world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hands and eternity in an hour. And Carl Jung. There is so much in nature which can fill us day and night through plants, animals, and flowers with the eternal in life. And that eternal in life is part of the 99%. So, the last is love. Simple love. Simple, profound, amazing, unbelievable, over-the-top love. So whatever and whoever you love, in that felt state of being in love, luxuriate. Either with them or without them, remember and be in that feeling state, because that's where you meet God, is in the love. So in this ritual that I did for the girls, they wrote on little pieces of wood, kind of like tiddlywinks, what they loved about each other, and gave them out. So that went along for a while. And then they got so into the love that they just said, this is for all three of you. And this too is for all three of you. And I was taking notes because I know that when you're in that felt state, you can't remember things. So I knew that they would like to conjure the memory of this, so I was taking notes for them. So this is what they said. So much learning was received about yourselves and each other by being together. This is what one person said for all, giving them to the other three. You expressed deep love and gratitude for each other. You love your silliness, your radicalness, your intelligence, and your knowledge. You value your differences and find each other very interesting. You are proud to present each other to the world as dear friends. And so it is being in the love state in your heart that invites intimacy with God. That's the place you need to go. Lose your mind, slip into the love, and do whatever it takes to get there. One more quote from Hafez, because we're going to sing this during the offering. The beautiful one whom I adore has pitched his royal tent inside of you. So I will always lean my heart as close to your soul as I can. And when you go to your friends and they say, what did you do today in that crazy place you go on Sunday morning? Here is your takeaway. My relationship with my source can be as close as I want it to be. Why don't you just say that? My relationship with my source can be as close as I want it to be. So I just challenge you to go out and fall in love today. Thank you very much. So just take that outer celebration and take it inside to an inner celebration. And perhaps you can remember something from your life, some beautiful memory that was inspired today, something that directly relates to the pathways I talked about, or just some memory where you felt that intimacy with the divine beloved. I invite you to go there now and to see if God is waiting for you. Dip into that memory. You might even say, as you sit in your heart, I know you are here. I know you are here, my divine beloved. And although I go throughout my day expressing you in everything that I do, because there is no other life to express, in this moment, I sit in my heart and want you to appear in front of me. For I know that my heart is your home. Come to me, my divine beloved, and speak to me of how you love me, how you have created me in your image, how you have planted in my heart those things that are mine alone to do. Blessing right now as we are all together, wherever that siren is going, and knowing that it goes to meet God, and that everyone in the vehicle of that siren is also God in action. And so it is that we return to our heart, giving such thanks for our oneness with our divine beloved and the intimate divine marriage that we can always relive and relive and relive through this earthly existence and on into eternity. Blessed be.
The song is called I Know You Are Near, and it is devoted to this beautiful indwelling presence of love, the Holy Spirit. It's a very contemplative piece. I invite you to close your eyes, go within, go deeper into the heart space that Reverend Karyl just brought us into. Enjoy. It circles the edge of this world and slips to the world within. I follow it to where my heart rests. And the peace comes through. We sit in a circle, sharing jewels of God. I know you are near because the air is scented with flowers. Ooh, ooh. I know you are near because the air is scented with flowers.
Christine Tullis.
Thank you.
Many beautiful CDs you can take home. They're one of my favorites to listen to.
Would the ushers please come forward now? So as the ushers are coming forward, we'll get our offering blessing ready. And as you prepare your tithes and offerings, just please give into something that touched you today. Because it is by your gifts that you exercise that giving muscle, which is very important for you. And by us receiving, it means that more and more and more of this can happen for all of us. So please repeat this affirmation with me. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time, and so it is. Would the ushers please receive the gifts? Today and everything that has happened, every song that was sung, every hug thus far, knowing it binds us all together as we truly are, and so it is. Well, we have so many other things going on, so gosh, so many you need to take notes. But today, for me, I'm going to be at Book Passage. I'd like to thank Susie Corte for putting this together. And I'm going to be talking about my book, and I'm so excited. So that's at 4 o'clock. If you'd like to come by, that would be wonderful. Gourmets for God, this is our summer fun. There's already one that's going to be happening at summer solstice, the 21st of June, and then another couple as the summer rolls out. And so you need to get your payments into Scott. Scott, please stand. Scott's accepting your money. And thank you very, very much. We're going to have a wonderful time, and hopefully this will continue. A summer class that's coming up for couples, the 7 Principles Making Marriage Work, and it's open to committed couples, whether you're married or not, and any combination that you're in. And Reverend Mary, stand up, sweetheart. Reverend Mary's the teacher, and she'll be at the education table and ready to talk to you about it. We have a new class on Wednesdays, your Essential Spiritual Toolkit. Janet, please stand. Janet's the teacher. This is an original class. She's so excited about it, and I'm excited about it for you. It's going to be wonderful. Good. Applause for the announcements. That's pretty great. Women's Spirit online registration now, womanspiritjourney.com. This is the thing that put me over the edge. So you have to be a woman, and then you just go and sign up. Then the 5th Sunday brunch, we have a 5th Sunday in June. The sign-up sheet for Jet's wonderful, just so hospitable, beautiful brunch the sign-up sheet is on the back table, which is the sign-up table now. Francine Huss, our own beloved Francine Huss, has this great book, Think Better, Live Better. What a great title, and it's great all the way through. And she is going to have a launch of her book next Sunday. We're going to have a book signing on Father's Day, and then the last Sunday of the month, which is the 29th, she will speak and do a workshop on her book. So that should be fabulous. The summer ritual workshop that I am doing is on the 5th of July, the 11th of July, and Kareen, where's Kareen? Kareen was, she's the big church lady today doing many, many tasks. If you need to pay for this ritual workshop ahead of time, which we like you to do, find Kareen. She will be happy to take your money. And then the happy birthday to the cancer people is going to be July 5th. And so they're going to be at Sue's wonderful house. Thank you, Sue, very, very much. And so all of us cancers, we're going to be at the party, and all y'all can come and say how fun and emotional and homey we are. As try as we may to get every single announcement in, there's two that don't have a slide. So listen up. Our beloved Reverend Sarah is doing her coffee and conversation this coming Thursday, which is really, we remarked, a continuation of this morning in her own style. The topic is that still small voice. And lastly, our wonderful men are doing the altar for Father's Day. And so if you would like to see Jay and Tom about what you might bring, everyone is invited to bring something that reminds them of their daddies for Father's Day next week. And so now I'd like the practitioners to surround the room. And as they do this, we consciously do this for you so that you feel loved and contained. These beautiful beings have studied long and hard to be able to speak the truth on your behalf. And at this point in our service, they surround the room so that, and as they do that, they are just beaming love to all of you. Most of them have their hands in some, loving position, and that's energy of love being just given to you. So feel it. And then, if you would, accept this blessing from me. May the sweet presence of God live forever in your heart. May you know the intimacy of true love with your divine beloved. And may Spirit always guide your way. And now it's your turn to stand for the affirmation and closing song. So right up here, I know there is a profound and intimate relationship with Spirit for me, shaped specifically for my soul's satisfaction. I move into that relationship and Spirit meets me. Blessed be.